Hey guys, let's talk about holsters real quick. AIWB holsters and why a longer appendix holster is better and safer than a shorter one. So, I'm going to be saying dick and balls a lot. So if you're religious or you don't like that sort of stuff or whatever, I don't know. If you're watching this at work, maybe, I don't know, whatever. So, this is a Dark Star gear. My buddy just bought a Glock 34 Gen 5 MOS. These might not be the best guns on the planet, but they're damn sure the best Glocks on the planet. Very, very awesome. Front serrations, the triggers are better, the flared mag well, the whole works. The new ones don't have the bullshit cutout. The only thing I don't like about them, and I change, is I cut down the support hand slide stop, and he grips a pistol fairly similar to me, and he hates it too, because if you grip up high with that big huge slide stop, I mean it's right there just rubbing you. You end up with a big callus right here. So works really well. I just take it down a little bit and then I undercut it just a tiny bit for him, just to make it smoother and nicer. And also he got this Dark Star gear holster. I did a couple little small modifications to it, just rounded on a couple little places that me and him both saw. Bob Vogel sights, I always recommend them for Glocks. They're my favorites. Glock 34, Glock 19, any Glock without an RMR, I like those Bob Vogel sights. And then let's get talking about the holsters and why the 34 length, and not just a longer holster, the actual 34 length is the best length for appendix. One, if the holster is nice and slim, it could be this long. It wouldn't matter. It would not affect comfort really any. People get so obsessed with small, and they don't realize that a longer holster actually is more comfortable and it's safer. If you want to talk about where that muzzle's pointed, if you want to talk about all that stuff, I don't really worry about that. A holstered gun to me is no longer a threat. If it's holstered, whatever. But we still have to worry about holstering, unholstering, and reholstering, and where that gun is pointed when we're doing those things. So a smaller holster has the chance of being canted in towards the body. If you bend over, it's pointed towards you. If it's just a short holster, your nuts are down below it, whatever. But for me, this 34 length gets down below or beside my dick and balls, okay? I mean, if you're hung to your nuts, you're gonna be just fine, right? Now, if you're packing a little more, you'll still be fine, because you're gonna be beside it and not behind it or not below it. And so shoot your balls off, all that stuff. Like, yeah, if you're carrying a 19 sized holster and it's super short and it's canted in like this, yeah, there's a chance that your nuts are going to be underneath of it. But a 34 size holster, unless you're 80 years old and your balls are hanging to your knees, there's very little chance of that. And then as far as people that say you'll shoot your dick, like, I mean, my dick comes out of the middle. So, and I don't have a 14-inch dick. I wasn't blessed with that. So, if that's the case, maybe you should carry on the hip, dude. But in any other circumstance whatsoever, I can't see yourself being shot in the actual main vein there. But another thing is this 34 length gets down, so our legs taper towards the knee, okay? And a 19 size holster can be pointed kind of down here, right here, to where you actually could get into and be pointed at your leg far enough inboard to be pointing at the femoral artery, possibly, right? That we've seen it happen. Maybe 43 holsters, 19 size holsters, they can be pointed towards that. But a longer 34 size holster, it gets to that point where your leg really starts to taper in towards the knee. So it comes down to this point. As long as you don't wear your pants up around your belly button, you wear your pants in a normal place. This holster is going to be right here, and this right here is right where my leg starts to go hard in, right? My leg goes whack, right straight in like this. If I had a laser pointer, I would have to do some really weird shit to get that muzzle to actually laser my femoral artery. And that's because of this length. This little bit of length, man, I'm telling you, it makes a huge amount of difference. And people are so hung up on believing that smaller is better. It's not. It really isn't. That's why a lot of people who really know what they're doing in this industry, and a lot of people who are really, really slick when it comes to appendix, I can name 3 of them, they carry 34 or full-size guns. Gabe White, Scott Jedlinski, Spencer Keepers carries a Beretta LTT, big gun, long gun, in a keeper's holster that is this length, even if it's not even a little longer. Scott Jedlinski carries a 34 or a 17 in a Filster holster that is this length or longer. 34 length holster. Spencer Keepers Concealment, same thing. Those are a couple of the biggest names in appendix right now. All carrying full-size guns. Carrying, not just competing with whatever those guys, they carry the guns they compete with. That's the whole point. If I compete with a 34, I'm not going to carry around a 19. Even though I do carry around my 19X sometimes when I have different things to do, but I carry my 34 with an X300 and everything a lot, especially all winter. So yes, the longer holsters are safer and more comfortable. The longer holster, you're more likely to, when you bend over, instead of the holster flipping out like this, you're more likely, it just pushes down a little bit. So you push down on the gun, it just shoves down a little bit and doesn't flip over like that. I believe they're more comfortable in every way, and I think that a lot of the good holster makers are really starting to figure that out. And then a lot of people are slowly going to figure out that, oh, the size doesn't matter as long as it's in the right place. So take her easy. Hopes that helps. I know Harry's Holster makes a little bit longer holsters for theirs. They got the idea. Spencer Keepers, Filster, these Dark Star gear. And if you're carrying a Glock, I really recommend getting a 34 length holster from anyone, because then this is a 19 and it clicks in, it's all the same. Glocks are all the same except for the bigger 10 millimeter and 45. So get a 34 holster, that way you can carry any gun you ever want.